Should I go first?
Yeah. You may definitely.
I don't think I necessarily have a parenting style.
Sure.
But I just go according to how my mom used to parent me and what I didn't like from it.
Yeah.
And what I appreciated from her parenting. That's how I navigate my style of parenting.
Cool.
It's definitely influenced by the women in my life, and not just them alone, even the men in my life.
Hi guys, welcome to Colloquy sessions. I am Zanele Mashinini and I'm with my host
Nelisiwe, ZwaneKa, Ndlovu, as always.
Okay guys, this is our first episode. We know that we have been AWOL for a while and it was unforeseen circumstances, but we're back and we apologize and we're going to be consistent, and we are joined by our two beautiful guests. First of is Acacia.
Hi everybody, I'm Thando, Acacia, Madi. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Zama with Zwane. Hi guys, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Alrighty guys, you know the drill. We are here to converse about things that affect us directly and indirectly, and yeah, we are looking forward to this episode because it's about something that is very, very close to the heart, and I think it's a very common problem among society. Maybe we might try and not problematize it today, but I think we are engaging to enlighten ourselves about situations.
And to just get more insights and to get the different perspectives that are happening, especially in our modern society.
Sure.
You know, and just a different view on how things are navigated in our time. And by the way, guys, these are two beautiful moms. Thando is an amazing mom of one. Zama is an amazing mom of two, a girl and a very, very pretty boy. So they will be giving us their perspective on their parenting styles and how they just go about navigating the whole parenting situation, especially in such modern times, guys. We live in such very difficult
volatile
times. And once again, please don't forget our social media pages. It's Colloquy_sessions at YouTube, Colloquy_sessions at Instagram, Colloquy_sessions on TikTok, Colloquy_sessions on Twitter. So please, thank you for your views, thank you for your subscriptions. Tell a friend to watch, talk about us, and we really appreciate everything, guys. We are really, really thankful. And let us just dive into it, shall we? So today's episode is about parenthood and parenting, and we have particularly
single motherhood.
Yes. So that is what we are trying to get at, and that is what we're trying to gauge and get more insight where we feel it's more not commonly spoken about, actually.
Sure. It's a very unorthodox, unheard of kind of conversation because we have this pretty picture societally that it has to be a nuclear family, blah, blah, blah. But obviously things don't always go according to plan, and we are going to hear why. And we are going to hear how they are doing it.
Exactly.
Because a lot of us are really struggling. So, yeah.
We just want to know how they navigating the whole situation. So what is your parenting style and what has influenced the way you parent?
Should I go first?
Yeah. You may definitely.
I don't think I necessarily have a parenting style.
Sure.
But I just go according to how my mom used to parent me and what I didn't like from it.
Yeah.
And what I appreciated from her parenting. That's how I navigate my style of parenting.
Cool.
It's definitely influenced by the women in my life, and not just them alone, even the men in my life have kind of like navigated how I integrate the father of my kids into my kids' lives, you know, especially if you're not together, and how you want the other person to show up for your kids despite your guys' differences.
Sure.
So that's where I kind of get my influence from in terms of parenting. I'm a very cool mom if I need to be a cool mom.
Yes.
Like, I'll do a TikTok, I'll hang out, I'll speak your language, and I'll do whatever. But then if I need to discipline you, I will do that. Like, I will be that parent.
Absolutely.
I just think for me, the most important thing is for my kids to know that I'm their mother, but I'm also their friend. Because I always feel like it's important for them to know that the first person that they need to come to with whatever is me.
You're the first point of reference.
Yeah, I should be their first point of reference with anything. Even if their voices are shaking, but it should be me that they come and tell, or it should be me that they come and talk to all the time. So I think that's where being a cool mom kind of takes preference or precedence, because they need to know, this is my homie. If I go to her and I'm like, yo, girl, you won't believe what happened today. Then I'm like, how? And then after I process everything that they tell me, later on I'll be like, let's have a chat about
Let's dissect it.
Earlier. Listen, this is, situations like this are gonna happen. I'm glad that you came to me about it first, so that I can get your perspective on how you view things. So my daughter's 9 going on 19. But
Absolutely.
She's 9 going on 19. And then I have a 10-month-old. So it's just two different worlds that I kind of need to collide. And it doesn't come with its challenges, but it's fun. I love it.
Brilliant. Being open-minded, like what I'm getting from you
100%.
is a sense of transparency
100%.
and creating a safe space for your child.
100%.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Time to bear.
Acacia. It's Acacia.
I mean, she practically took the words right out of my mouth. Because with being a young mom and a modern day mom, what Zama just said is exactly what needs to happen, and we are trying by all means to not raise our kids the way our parents raised us, because if anything, and we all know this, our parents were very strict, so even unnecessarily strict. There were moments where it was just like, when you think about it, it was uncalled for. It was like, you should have just listened. You could have just listened, But being African, you learn, we were raised differently and the dynamics are different. But because now we are in a time where it's like, we can speak, about anything, So for me, I kind of resonates with the fact that I want my child to speak to me first about everything and anything. I always refer to my daughter as my best friend. She's 7, and I think also Liana, she's going on 17, 19. And I think the amazing thing is that in Ganzets right now, they're growing up, very quickly. Like, they are very intelligent, So this notion that they don't see, they don't understand, that on its own is detrimental to the family dynamics, because if you're going to live with that mindset and they are still young and they don't understand or they don't see, you are fooling yourself as a parent.
True.
Because then you are messing up with the child's head and mindset, you understand, because you think you're covering for the child.
And you're not.
And it's also very enabling, because everything I will be
exactly.
I don't know any better. That's true.
So I always try and make sure my child is very close to me. We are very close. But I also do discipline. I will whoop that ass if I have to. I will definitely whoop that ass. So there are times when, she forgets herself sometimes. It's like, because, obviously, you become close to your child to a point where they get too comfortable.
True.
And then you need to remind her,
I'm still your
you
mother.
must remember that I'm your mother first before I'm your friend. You know what I mean? So there needs to be that
authority.
And also boundaries. Don't overstep certain boundaries, but don't be afraid to come to me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And going back to what you had said from the previous first questions, you actually just made my life easier for the second question. And it stems from how you were brought up. You mentioned a lot of your parenting styles from your parents. And you being a parent, do you find yourself instilling your own values on your own child? Because you know how we were raised. Our parents were like, no, do this because I feel that it is, based on what they feel is right for you. So do you find yourself doing that on your kids?
100%, like all the time. Because, like Thando mentioned, our parents are very strict,
True.
right? So there wasn't room for anything really, And I always feel like you need to learn things from home.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's my number one thing. You always need to learn things from home. So that's part of my values in parenting, is that I need to teach my children izinto from Acacia, so that when they go out into the world, they're not shocked by whatever it is that they see, or they're not easily enticed by like izinto trend. They're now overwhelmed with shit, but they can just go back and like Ekhaya lento lena is a norm type of thing.
Yeah.
That's one of the values I always install.
sushi.
Yeah, sushi.
Yeah.
And it's not only just about is it materialistic or whatever, but
Sure.
I also feel like respect and what respect does for you when you're inside the house, and what it does for you even when you're outside of the home, because I've picked up ukuthi abantwana bayahlonipha ngaphandle, but ekhaya hey
Totally
different.
Yeah.
And I always tell my daughter, like, nigga, like you need but I'm just like, dog, you need to be consistent.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
The
And
energy.
I won't tolerate that energy in the house. So I need to know, Wuti, you're being authentic with yourself and
Exactly.
with me.
Absolutely.
So that when you go out into the world, you're not pretending to be something that you're not. Yeah.
And that's not the type of energy you're going to give out.
Because and I think for my daughter especially, because of her body more than anything else, she's chubbier than, she's not even chubby. Let me just she's not even chubby.
She's gonna be mad at you.
Yeah. She's very cute. It's just that and you know how
voluptuous.
and you're voluptuous, from a very young age. You're always just kind of made to feel a certain way.
They sexualize you.
Yeah, they sexualize you. One, they sexualize you, and two, all your other peers make you feel like you're weird, and why do you look like this?
Sure.
And you're fat, and they body shame, and then next thing you know, your child is sitting on YouTube trying to Google ways of being thinner, and like,
God,
I need to. And my thing is, you need to value yourself. Like, you need to know who you are. From the minute you step out of this house, you must know yourself and be like, yo, this is who I am. And you take me as I am, or you leave it. But just know that wherever I'm coming from, I'm enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, I'm enough. I don't need to be more for anyone else but me. And this is what it is when it comes to me, and this is what you get. I think that's the one thing I always want my kids to take with them, or like, that's the one value I have. And I don't, because also our parents were strict, they didn't have these honest conversations with us. So
True.
I'm not quite sure what things would value from my experiences, other than things that I got from my sister when I got older. We understand that, because you can't sit down with your mother and be like, well, at the time you couldn't say, these people are making me feel a certain way, and then azugupa like valuable advice about self-love and the things that are important to you and what you need to value in life. But I do that for my kids because I think it's important, and it's an important tool that they need to grow up with.
Look, I mean, the concept of seeking validation outside is very popular. And
even with us
can be
also.
very tricky. Absolutely.
Is it just me?
Yeah, kids can be very, very mean, very tricky, and it's very easy to lose yourself. But with that kind of mental state where you're like,
Stay true to yourself. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And considering the social media world that they're currently growing up in, I can imagine how it is.
Yeah.
I can imagine how it is.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It
It's a lot.
is.
And are you instilling your values, Acacia? I like saying
Well,
Acacia.
I mean, I'm gonna speak with this question. I'm just gonna revert to myself.
Sure.
And in a sense, yoguti, whatever values I instill in my child are values that I personally believe in.
True.
Right? And it's things that I run with. So if I run with it, then my child can run with it as well.
Sure.
And my most important value is self-love. You know what I mean? Because when I was growing up, I used to get bullied all the time. You know, I used to get bullied all the bloody time. And, you know, there's a post that I saw the other day that says, the girls that were bullied the most in primary school are the prettiest today. And I'm just like, hell yeah. Hello. We are the ones that were bullying you, know?
True.
And I mean, also, it's like kids just naturally are mean people. You know what I mean? And it's not even but also, guys, you need to understand something. It's not necessarily that they're mean. It's because kids are more honest.
Absolutely.
You understand that they don't know how to filter. When we grow up, as we grow older, we learn how to filter things and we learn how to be nice or how to be cautious about how we say something to someone because I'm not trying to hurt this one's feelings or whatever.
Yeah, sure,
but as a child, you don't know that.
A spade is a spade.
You saying because that's what you see. That's what the child sees. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's not necessarily the child being mean. It's the child seeing that, and that is exactly what it is.
At that
it's
time.
Sure. You know. So what I try and teach my daughter, Uguti, every time she comes to me, she's like, "Oh, you know, so and so said I'm not beautiful." I mean, the last time someone said, I'm not going to mention names. What, you know, this child said to her, she's only beautiful because she's light.
Oh, wow.
And that ain't true. She cute,
right? She's really cute. So I mean, that's a thing. That's a real thing. You know, when you're lighter than most people, then you're more beautiful because and whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. And what I always say to my daughter is that, my baby, unomona. You know, that person is jealous. Because chances are they've got bigger ears or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
everyone has
they're insecure about themselves. Yes. So they'll always point out something about you, but where now you need to be sure of yourself.
True.
When I say you are beautiful, when you get out of this house, behave like you are beautiful.
True.
If someone says you don't look beautiful, tell them, Shem, Minagiti, darling, I'm the prettiest. Or I'm one of the prettiest in my house. You know what I mean? Like that energy. Self-esteem is very important because if you have low self-esteem as a child, it's so easy for people to diverge into believing anything else about yourself.
It takes you everywhere and it builds your character.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
True.
So for me, self-esteem, high self-esteem, a big priority, and respect. What Zama was saying, respect.
Yeah.
If you're going to be respectful and clean, when you get out there, maintain the same energy, my darling. Maintain the same energy. Don't be a rabella because now how am I supposed to defend you? How am I supposed to defend you? Like honestly, if usathane la endlini and then we get lost you understand that's the thing about we get lost endlini and then usathane how am I supposed to defend you because I can't speak on your character
because it always goes back to say ukuthi okay so ukanje ndlini lo muntu lo whenever they are seen around outside and it's like but I never
like it really seems like you're psycho parent or your psycho aunt or your psycho whatever because people behave a certain way and then they are the sweetest human beings.
Friends also
exactly. So also you're right, I'm so sorry to cut you.
No, it's okay,
but you're right. Another thing about values, and the tricky part about values is that I can teach my child all the values under the sun.
True.
But we must be mindful of the fact that our kids grow up in different homes.
Yes.
So, and they associate themselves with kids from different homes, with different energies.
Yeah.
So, my child is definitely going to be friends with the child that's always bullied a guy.
Yes.
So that's the energy. You understand? Because that's the crowd that she's running with. You understand? And it's unfortunate because you can't control. You can instill as many values
as you want
and as you can. Yeah. But you must be very mindful and expectant of the people that she's going to meet outside.
And that's where the real struggle is. That's where I think I find the struggle with regards to parenting, because I think when you become a parent, whether you had planned it or not, you then have a specific goal or a specific lifestyle that you want to for your child to kind of have or kind of maintain.
Absolutely.
And especially for some of us, abantwana bethu who are growing up in the hood, but have different experiences and different exposures to certain things.
Yes. Sure.
They get bullied a lot. They get bullied for the littlest things, and they are made to feel bad for how you are being raised.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And they will take that attitude or that energy that they get estradeni and try to bring it back home and be like,
because it's normalized.
Yeah, because why when are you the way you are when the rest of us how dare you be that person?
Etiquette.
Yeah,
what have decorum?
Yeah, how dare you be this person? Why are you kind? How dare you speak English when the rest of us is khuluma isiZulu? Say kaya, the dumbest things. Tina sihlezi ilanga lonke sidlala estradeni wona bakise mall.
Bad and bougie.
Guys, it's literally the littlest things, but then the impact that they have on that little person that you're trying to raise. And I think I get very angry at that, and I get very overprotective around that because I went through those experiences as well.
So as we were speaking about protection of a child and how they're carried and how the world views them, I'm very curious, Acacia, how important is it to you that your children, potential children, are fathered by the same man?
I don't like that question, yes. I honestly don't like that question. It's sabotage, guys, honestly. I mean, look, guys, ideally, in the perfect world, we all want our kids to come from the same man, especially in society, valihlazo and because how if you have kids from different baby fathers, then they're spell it whether with the H or the W, but you're that busy. You know what I mean? So for me, ideally, I would want to have kids from the same man, but because I don't want another child.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Disclaimer, he's really
I don't want a child. I don't even think about having a child with him. But if I did want to have a child with someone or a child again, it would definitely be with him.
Yeah.
Not because of anything based on love or whatever. It would just be because I feel like it's safer to have a child with a person who, number one, umjwayele.
Yeah.
Number two, financially, you understand?
It makes sense.
It makes sense. And not financially for me. You understand? Me now, I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say I'm rich or whatever. But it helps because his financial standing is more secure. So imagine now I'm going to find a hustler who, that earns salary hand to mouth. It won't make sense. It won't make sense because now I've got this bougie child that lives the best of both lives. Kulele kasi, uyayazikota, uyamazi my friend, and then she goes to the burbs, and she knows that in the burbs there's no my friend, and you know what I mean. She's got the best of both worlds, and then I meet ubrada wasekasi, ikhuzu, Nyapanda. I mean, it won't make sense.
The combo.
It will not make sense, and it's going to be unfair of me to bring that child into the world. Yes, I can say I can do things for my child. Namaji, I can do things for Azi, but it's not fair that now I've got two kids, two different men. One is okay financially, the other one isn't. And when the other one isn't able to do, so the moneyed one can do the most. You know what I mean? Take them to Paris, take them wherever, do this, do that. And then
what about the other
our
one?
poor Skepsel. Now, poor Skepsel is not traveling, is not. Now, I need to compensate. So what needs to happen now is I must save money from my salary or wherever. I can't do what I need to do because now mele kube khona leyo vacation evala lelo hlazo lelo lokuthi wena ubabakho akakenzeli. You know what I mean? Lo ubabakho uyamenzela. And also, how do you answer questions like that?
Yeah.
How do you answer questions from abantwana where a child is like, oh, you know, my dad, like we went here and here and here, and then lo munye solo kahleli now udlala estradini elokishini, like uzothini yena makathi no mina ubaba mama wayangangithengela ngebhayisikili. What do you say? What do you say? And it's all ukuthi I don't have the money to go and now buy lelo bicycle ukuthi at least both of them have a bike and whatever. What do you say to a child? Because kids don't understand. You know what I mean? Yena usitshela ukuthi yes, I've got a dad, but why is my dad not doing what this one's dad is doing for them? You know what I mean? And also, you know, there's kids that like to adopt people's fathers. I don't want someone else's child to adopt someone else's father. You understand? Your dad is your dad. Your dad is your dad. Angifuni manje lo sekathayida ubaba waka lo makafikile segijima yena phambili emotweni obamba iwindow.
She don't play.
No, that's not your daddy. That's not your daddy. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, uzokula. Uzokula and yena ukhule ngalento le because ngimyekile. Like you leave the child running to that other man's window, believing that it's their father when it's not.
Absolutely.
And then masaka khulu yabona uthi no man. Because at the end of the day, lifestyle is about different. Whether we are kitchen windowing, my lifestyle is about different. Because baba waka lo uzokwazi ukumisa ever city the best, go overseas,
and they end the truth.
And you understand now they end up fighting amongst each other. Now they hate each other because you get this, and it's not the child's fault.
And it causes unnecessary sibling rivalry.
Yes,
I can imagine.
Yes.
I can
it's
imagine.
Like, your dad does this. Your dad does
exactly.
Not, you know what I mean?
My dad this, and kids innocently speak about their dads, guys.
Exactly.
Kids
all
with
the time.
Kids with amazing dads will boast about their dads.
That's true.
Kids with amazing dads will boast like me and my child. Like when she's from daddy, like daddy this, daddy that. When she's with mom, oh my mom's so awesome. Oh mommy, mommy. I'm like, do you talk about me the way you talk about your dad? When you are that side, do you tell him we went to the movies? Right? Did you tell him we went to the movies that we did 1, 2, 3? When you're here, I always hear everything. You know what I mean? So I don't want to have kids from two different men because of that.
Perfect.
Like that's just my only reason. Like angfuni ukusokolisa umntana abantu. Like no.
True.
Let's check out my pay slip, man. Like compare pay slip. Compare how much do you earn? How much do you earn? Okay, fine. You can both be the father of my kids.
No, seriously, guys. You have been
No ways, guys. No ways.
And you, Zama, you've got 2 babies. I was jealous. What is your take?
What's your stance?
Is it important for you to father them or father your potential children by the same man?
It wasn't at first.
Okay.
Let me explain. Let me explain. So when my daughter happened, and we were young and everything else, and like just life happened in between everything else and whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I had never thought in like ever, Uguti, I'd have a child with like another child with the same guy again.
Yeah.
But you know when you make plans, God loves.
Like,
I just love.
Are you sure?
When you hear me, you know my plans. And that's honestly the situation that we found ourselves in when 10 years later we're having a second child together again. Genuinely. You know? And I think, guys, for a lot of people it was inevitable, but for us who are in the situation,
It was a never.
Yeah, it was a never type of thing. And when it did happen, guys, long story, but yeah, you know. Yeah. But yeah, and for me, I had never like looked at it in any type of way because it was always a matter of, hey guys, nah, you know, looking for potential wherever it is that you're looking for potential for. But as I grew older, or like in the past 2 years, I would say, and for me, perspective yami comes more from abogogo, right? And because they also have their own plans and they know what they want for you. And
backtrack. When she said abogogo, I thought like grannies.
No, not grannies. I mean like your ancestors.
Underground gang.
The underground gang, dog. Okay, like the underground gang also has its own plans for you.
Absolutely,
you know?
you're right.
And I always feel like the underground gang always coincide. Like they're always working together to whatever.
They're in one team.
Yeah, like it could have literally happened with anyone else, and it didn't.
Yeah,
you like.
The universe is like,
yeah, you know, like, boom, yeah, la, back to sender, you know.
True.
It was one of those things, and so for me, I've sort of looked at it from that perspective. Okay, so what's the issue now? Do they both have different surnames? Wenzanjani? Because already this one person kubo bamenzele izinto zakhe and you don't know how the other person ngokwesiko nawe bakumbethe self, so uxakekisa abantu nayo yonke le process le eyenzakalayo and then the finances also come into play. It's okay, lo bamthengile ibhayisikili lo hamba ngescooter.
It
boils down like there are a lot of factors that go into it, but what I can say, and this is from my own experiences, is that I'm just lucky
that things turned out.
Yeah, I'm just lucky that things turned out the way that they did.
Yeah,
you know,
they visit one home.
Yeah, you know,
yeah,
one
one.
Yes, one house. You know,
one house.
And akukho ukuthi lokho kwakhe amthanda lokho kwakho akamthandi. And you know all of those things. So as are my blessings and you don't realize at the time. Sure, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Lento lena in the long run is helping the both of us. Actually, or it's helping everyone.
Yeah.
Situation.
It's ideal.
It's ideal for everyone that's in it. So it's okay. This is what it is, and we must just make this work and
and then everything is actually working out for the better.
Yeah, exactly. And
we might not understand it
we
now,
might not understand it because we're humans and we're just like, hi, why loco, and isikhathi masamba, we'll get around to it and we'll understand better.
Yeah, it's really tricky when it comes to introducing a new being, like completely. Like, here's person X, I'm dating them now, and then now from Uncle Sam, it's Uncle Smuziso, and just gravitating towards that and them forming bonds. Very tricky. What is your take? Like, what is your take on dating, Acacia?
I mean, honestly, yo guys, like, dating is very tricky. It's very, very, very hard. Like Zama said, it's not very easy dating, especially as a mom. It's the most difficult thing because you need to be able to plan around your child. You know what I mean? You plan around your child. You can no longer be spontaneous in a relationship. So your new boyfriend can never come and say, babe, I planned a weekend away and we are literally going away like now. Like it can't happen like that, you know? You can't be spontaneous. You can't be introducing different men into your child's life. For one, Mina, I've never introduced any boyfriend to my child, and even if I was having a thing with that guy, it was more of a friendship kind of thing. Like it probably was a guy that I didn't take seriously, or it wasn't that deep, and that's why my child knows that guy. But if I was in a relationship with a man, chances are he met my child by mistake. And what I mean by that is he was parked outside my house, and then my child is very nosy, and she decides she wants to come to the gates. Yeah, you know, she wants to see mama unobani, you know, that kind of thing. But for me personally, I don't like introducing my child to different men. I don't like that. I don't do that. I don't want it. I'm not looking for a stepfather at any point in my life. And I always tell the men that potentially want to date me, or men that, like me, or men that I'm seeing, Uguti, don't be confused. I'm not looking for a stepfather, because if literally I had to put Ubabenganyami now and I had to say to my child, run to the safest place, my child would run to her dad. So that at no point is my child confused about who her dad is. I'm not looking for a standby dad. But it's difficult.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a standby dad. I'm not looking for a stepdad. I'm looking for someone that's gonna love me and love my child and respect my child and respect the fact that I am a mother. But other than that, dating is just very tricky, guys. I can never be spontaneous. I can never do sleepovers unless my child is away, to her dad at her dad's house. Then I have, free time. I always call them my weekends off, because that's when I can freelance and
mommy time.
That's when I can, when during the week I'm a mom, and then weekends I am myself. I am Thando, the single woman, but during the week I'm mom. So during the week, there's no, hey babe, dinners, spontaneity. We met in spontaneity. That can never work. It can't work. I'm sorry, it can never work.
And stemming from the fact that you guys mentioned that kids are nosy. When do you think it's the right time to unpack the dynamics of not being romantically involved with their father?
Guys, kids know.
They know.
And I think it goes back to the point you made, way earlier on into the conversation, that adults have this thing in which umntwana hours next. Guys, kids know.
They know.
They're very
and
informed.
they see shit. Because we do things in front of them and we think, "Hi, umntwana."
Exactly.
No, you're doing it in front of them. Obviously, they see
comprehend.
it. They comprehend stuff. And they know. Luckily, in my situation, my daughter asks. She'll ask you questions.
She's very vocal.
Yeah, no, she's very vocal. How, sister? Manje. She's like, how, sister? Manje.
I can see her.
Because that's exactly who she is, and she'll ask exactly like that.
Sure.
And then
update me.
Tell me, what's going on? And I'm not saying that it just happened and it was nice and whatever. You obviously need to find ways in which you get to that point where you're comfortable enough, and it goes with age also. And you need to be fully aware of what your child is exposed to at the time and how you introduce those topics to them, And it's hard, guys. It is tough. It's tough because you need, the child needs to understand why mom and dad aren't together, and why daddy is with someone else, or why mommy is with someone else. And should you and daddy find you guys way back together? So, wait. What happened now? Yeah, what happened now? What's going on? Where's this person in your life? Where's that person in their lives, And so how am I supposed to be acting towards that person now? And those are things that happen. That's how it goes. Those are the dynamics that I face, I don't know how many other people went through what I went through in terms of the dynamics of how co-parenting works or whatever else, because me and my baby daddy have always been close. Despite everything else, we've always been in each other's lives, and not just as parents, but as homies, and it's always been there. And when the dynamics change, the child can see. Hey man,
it's not the same.
We're not hanging out as often. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. So what's up? Fill me in. And I think the most difficult part actually is the dad more than the child, because you are the one that needs. Honestly, well, for me, I feel like it's the part where you're you think your child is a child, but not really. So she can see, she can see. So inform her as much as I'm informing her, so she can see that everyone is on the same page.
That's fair.
It's only fair.
Sheesh, ladies, we are on our last question now. What is your take on the concept of your child traditionally facing harshness of the lack of their paternal necessary rituals, whatever they may be, despite the father's choice to not participate or be an involved parent in the child's life?
Yo.
Boom. Can I answer that? Absolutely. Indulge us.
Please.
You know that question is very tricky because I mean, I'm on literally on both ends of the stick, right?
Sure.
So what I mean by this is that meaning you know, but in the same breath, he is present for ingane yakhe.
Sure.
You know, uyamsupporta and he does whatever he needs to do. He's a father, you know, and I always say to people, I don't have a baby daddy, I have a baby father because he's present. You know, there's a difference between a dad
Fathering.
And a father.
Daddy, no, father. You know, fathering. You know,
True.
and he's very present. He's a father. You know, but I'm very traditional in the same breath.
Sure.
So deep down, I believe in uklawulingane and going through the necessary steps and introducing ingane to your ancestors and whatnot. And you know, Tina, obviously, Owami will do what needs to be done on my
On your
end.
side.
Yeah, but I mean, but in the same breath, I'm just like, hey guys, you know what? At the end of the day, mangabe inking as they evoke or whatever, it's his problem.
Sure.
It's his
You
problem.
did your part.
Because you must understand, Uguti, whatever problems are going to arise, igazi lomuntu lihlale libalekela the paternal side.
Yeah.
True.
So whatever, when shit pops or whatever happens, she needs to run to the dad and he must explain, kunje because I did not hlawula, kunje because azange ngikubike kithi, kunje because. So for me, it's like it's a breath of fresh air in a way. Yoguti, I'm trying my best and I've spoken about it and I've mentioned it.
Yeah.
And
Initiated.
you know, I've initiated. We can never reach a consensus when it comes to the traditional aspect of things.
Sure.
So the best thing to do is uyakhula umntwana, things will happen, and at some point uzohluzeka ingqondo.
Sure.
That's how I see it. You know what I mean? Uzohluzeka ingqondo, where he needs to now step up and do the right thing or the right things when needed. But for now, I'm just like to my mom, dude, but at the end of the day, this is her dad.
He's present.
This is her dad.
100%.
Whether you like it or not, whether the child uses this person's surname or not, okusalayo,
It boils down to
igazi
that.
lomntwana, igazi lakhe.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And that is where I'm like, you know, you like
It's a
at
catch-22.
Yeah, you like at a crossroads because it's like, traditionally bakutshela ukuthi hayi akusingane yakhe ngoba ahlawulanga akambikanga, but biologically ingane yakhe because igazi lakhe, you know, flows in, you know, that child's bloodstream.
And
So-
at the end of the day, you cannot deprive the child of having an experience of having a dad.
Exactly, because of
Just because
of a mere
Ahlawulanga.
2000, like I mean, really a mere 2000 or 5000, and then now the dad can never see the child. Like for me, that doesn't make logical sense.
It doesn't.
Sure.
Like it doesn't make logical sense. Ingane ayibona ubaba wayo. If anything happens in the child's life that needs traditional things, he will sort it out eventually. Hopefully, he'll still be alive when things
See
need to be
through.
sorted
True.
out.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is that if you don't deprive your child of having that structure of knowing the dad and the dad side of the family,
Yeah.
whether he's dead or not, or he passes away or not, you can always go back to the people that remain in the family and say, listen, this and this is happening.
Most
So
important.
please, you know, assist.
Yeah.
You know, because I've seen ingane fihli.
Yes.
And that's also the benefits of ingane ongayifihli. You know what I mean? Whether uhlawulile or akahlawulanga, awuyifihlanga.
Yeah.
Bayamazi, so they know. And
That
they would know if they had slaughtered a chicken. Like they would know if they had slaughtered
Done
whatever.
anything.
Yeah, if they've done anything.
You're
you know
right.
what I mean?
You're right.
So honestly, that's how I see it.
Perfect. 100%. I agree. Totally. And you, Zama?
Okay, so okay, so my kids bahlawuliwe and Mbele, well, apart from the last born because he's still very young, but Mbele when everything was done. And I think as izinto you learn as you go, right? And I've had a lot, so my kids use their dad's surname, right? And I felt like rightfully so because they've his family and him have always done right by our kids from the get-go, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah, despite whatever else that may happen around us, but then they've always done right by their kids. And there would always be talks of akumelanga basebenzisa isibongo sakhe because akulotsholwanga and you know, like izinto zesiko ziningi, guys. Izinto zesiko zinento zazo. Being black is a lot. Like it comes with a lot of things. But for mina and lava enginabo and abangithwele who are agreeing with the ways that we've gone with thus far, I'm content and I'm satisfied with everything that we have and everything that we've gone through and what they show us. Figure khona manje, you know. And I hope ukuthi noma ngabe ubaba engasekho or even me mangasekho and he's there, because impilo asiyazi ukuthi sibekeleni. I need for whoever's in the situation to have the comfort to come to me, to come to my family, or I have the comfort to come to his family to say, culturally, so that needs to be sorted. And we're able to have that thing sorted out, because as far as I know, the maternal side is always the strongest.
True. Why do you say I have to ask, why is that gospel? Why do you say that?
Because abamama bakho yiba powerful laba baba bangbet noma ngabe ungabiza bani
a conversation for another day.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
So you think the maternal side
himself, yes, like the paternal is very strong, and it's important for umntana ukuthi azi lapho aphuma khona and but God and ancestors and the world is crazy in a way, because they know that men can be flaky, but umama mama yes, we also have our faults and whatnot, but ekugcineni abantu abathwala abantwana babo emqolo abomama more than the dads. Understand the lento le. And I think in that sense, and I'm no way trying to take anything away from fathers and whatever else, abomama yibo abaqinile. And you can go anywhere nakuliphi isonto or whatever, bazakutshela ukuthi abomama bakho exactly abomama bomthandazo.
You're right.
Yes, abomama bakho yibo.
No one really asks about abomama bomthandazo.
Uyabazi wena abomama bomthandazo. Exactly.
So the maternal is strong.
Like the maternal is strong, but I always feel that abantwana kumele bayazi imvelaphi yabo.
Yes, sure.
Regardless of who's stronger than who, they need to know. It's their birthright to know.
Shoo! What a conversation,
guys!
Okay?
Jesus, John.
It's been real. It's been beautiful. I think more than anything, we had missed you guys.
A lot.
And we come with a bang because the ladies have a lot to say, and we're very grateful for the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
It was beautiful to have you.
Also, I feel like we just came back with the bang. Thando and Zama, I don't know, like from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for bringing us back with such a bang, with such an interesting conversation, which is very close to Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers.
Send money and flowers. Send mostly money.
So thank you very much. Don't forget to follow us again on Colloquy_sessions on YouTube, Colloquy_sessions on Instagram, Colloquy_ on TikTok. And we're happy to be back, guys.
On Twitter.
Thank you so much.
Guys, take care of yourselves. From me, Nels, and our beautiful queen. Ciao, Bella.
Bye.